News Now.
It is the kind of weekend where an ice-cold beverage is probably the thing you want. A local businessman launching his own craft beer company, and he's targeting Hispanic customers. He's at the Sentinel today to tell us more about this new beer. Caitlin.
Yeah, so actually you took the words out of my mouth, Andre. I was thinking whether a nice weekend means maybe a nice cold brewski. And I actually have Kyle Arnold, who's our restaurant and retail reporter in-house. And Kyle, you know, craft beer is a trend, but it seems that we have one local brewer taking it to sort of the next step. And let's talk about Boricua craft beer and Taino beer, which is like sort of its lighter sister beer. So talk to me about those two products.
Yeah, exactly. It was a beer that was launched here a couple months ago by a local company at Altamont Springs. Danny Ramos is running it. It's being produced up in Cape Canaveral at Florida Beer Company. And it is a beer that is, you know, hoping the Boricua name means Puerto Rican. There's a huge population of Puerto Ricans here, hoping that he can, you know, create a connection between those people to get his name out.
So when I think of craft beer, you know, I think it certainly targets a specific audience, but he's taking it a step further. Can you elaborate more on why target the Hispanic population?
Yeah, there's like 500,000 Hispanics in this area. About half of those are Puerto Ricans, and a lot of Puerto Ricans and a lot of Hispanics are in that millennial age group, just like the rest of the country. And those people are kind of disregarding the beers their parents grew up with, and they want local beers. They want things that cater a little bit more to their taste, a little bit higher quality, and they're willing to pay for it.
Sure. And so, where locally can we find this?
There's a couple Publix around town in some of the bigger Hispanic pockets of town. Sedano's, Bravo's. There's a bunch of 7-Elevens. You can find them almost at all the ABC wine and spirits. They have a pretty big craft beer selection.
Excellent. And so I know this isn't the only brewery or brewer looking to target this market. Who else is popping up, nationally?
Yeah, there's some companies out of like Southern California, like Ohana Brewing. There's some other ones. What's really interesting about Boricua is I really haven't found many others that target Hispanics specifically. And you already see that done in the mass beer market with Corona.
Exactly.
Dos Equis things. Mexico's a pretty big beer market. But in terms of Americans, they've really kept it general so far, either localities like Orlando Brewing or Fat Tire, just a generic term out of Colorado.
Excellent. And I just want to know, what has the reception been? If it's only been launched for a few months, what's the kind of feedback you're getting on this?
It's doing pretty well in some restaurants around town, especially some like Puerto Rican restaurants that they really only offer, some of the big international beers, Heineken and things like that. They bring in a local beer. It says craft brew. It's got a local tie to it, and people want to try it, especially tourists from out of town. They want to, see what the local flavor is, and so far it's been good.
Excellent. So we have a local entrepreneur, a local brewer here, targeting a very specific market within a larger market. So we'll just have to see how Boricua goes from here. But if we're seeing all these temperatures, I myself might crack one this weekend.
I think you should, Caitlin. Cheers to that. What a terrific idea.
Cheers.
All right.
Thanks for watching this video. You can watch Orlando News Now every weekday on OrlandoSentinel.com. We go live at noon. See you then.
I am for the child who's had 7 addresses in a single year because she's in foster care, because her father abused her, and her mother couldn't believe her. She is the child I am for. I am a volunteer child advocate. I am you.
Florida residents call toll-free 866-341-1425.
Hi, I'm Jose Miranda. This is Hispanic Speak Out TV, brought to you now on our new channel, 194. So I hope that you will eventually catch up to where we are. We talk about politics, of course. We talk about education. We talk about your grandmother and your mother sometimes, I think. We talk about a lot of different angles. We talk politics mostly, of course, and I'm being joined tonight by our panel who are contributors, okay, as part of our network. And guys, please introduce yourselves, starting.
Bill Garlington, conservative author of It's Your Choice America.
My name is Hussein Jaffer. I'm a conservative Muslim, and
as we all like to poke fun, semi-black sheep. Great sheep.
Semi-black sheep, wow. My name's Greg Perkins. I'm host of EDU TV.
Guys, this is gonna be a long kind of conversation, but you know, we've had, it's been a week, and it'll be a week and change, and we've had this tumultuous campaign come to a close, and we've had someone who has defied the odds, okay? Defied the logic in how a campaign is run, all right? In modern times, I don't think in our history has this type of campaign been waged, okay? So, and it's affected all of us on tremendous levels. So without getting negative, without stooping to craziness, speaking about facts, tell me how you feel about this election now.
Well, I feel strongly that I believe America is in a better place, and will be in a better place moving forward. Let me tell you why. Donald Trump, to Jose's point, did something unprecedented. He beat the odds. How he beat the odds, in my opinion, he worked his fanny off for the last 2 weeks, going 4 or 5 states in a day, speaking to people, 30,000, 15,000, up until 2 o'clock in the morning. And it resonated to the population of America of the issues. There was a lot of mudslinging on both sides. Donald Trump was not my first choice, as you all know, but I believe positive that if the cabinet and his administration say what they're going to say, I believe in 4 years from now, we're going to all say, well job, good job.
I see.
You know, I think it's crazy that a person who has never run for office, ever, has won the presidency of the United States of America. The pros of this is that he will not submit, so far, it seems, with his strong language, to the princes of Saudi Arabia and Qatar and things like that. You know, when Prince Walid, who was given $10 to $25 million to Hillary Clinton, who, you know, Saudi Arabia kills gays and you know, mistreats women. I'm not getting negative, I'm just being factual. Okay. That money was given to Hillary Clinton's foundation. When he was tweeting against Donald Trump last year and earlier this year, Donald Trump asked him a very simple question. Have you taken one Syrian refugee? One. There's 100,000 AC tents in Saudi Arabia. AC. Have you taken one Syrian refugee? So the reason I'm mentioning that is because I think he's going to be very strong against people who are like that. The man's a billionaire. He doesn't care about their money. It's irrelevant to him. That being said, as a conservative and a Muslim, I will tell you it was a little bit of a hard pill to swallow. I was not rooting for Hillary. I voted third party because of the media, because of things that have been said by Trump, apparently, against Muslims. Now, I watched something last night that showed a clip of where he said we have to ban the Muslims, but then I watched a dissection of that video where it showed actually the 12-minute speech and how now this social media company cut it into 4 minutes and made it very negative. So I'm frankly very confused. I'm concerned, though, with the Trump supporters who are ignorant. What we were talking about earlier real quick, and I'm sorry to take so much time on this, but as you know, I love to speak. Trump supporters who are not racist, Black Lives Matter supporters who are not racist, and who don't hate cops, and who don't hate white people, and Muslims who are not terrorists and have a tough time identifying with that, or having the outside identify with that, are going through the same media identity crisis now. It's, you know, we know not all Trump supporters are terrorists, but what the media is doing is showing the 40 or 50 cases of violence against Muslim people, black people, Hispanic people that has happened. And I know, Bill, whether you're conservative or not, you're going to denounce this kind of violence.
Okay, Greg?
That was phenomenal that this guy won. I mean, the world felt different when I woke up the next day. It was phenomenal, but I'm going to take the high road because this is going to be a fun 4 years. Because, folks, let me tell you something right now. You said that Trump didn't care about money. Well, he didn't get to be a billionaire by not caring about money. So the guy loves money. His daughter is hawking products already, trying to sell them out of the White House.
I don't think he cares about Saudi money.
Okay, I get that. But here's the thing. This is going to be 4 years. Because, folks, Trump is not a conservative Republican, okay? He's already talking about a stimulus bill, which bill does not like welfare handouts, and no Republican, Mitch McConnell already said, that's not a priority for us to go into the inner cities and help these people. This is going to be fun. And I'm very disappointed that this guy, whose wife has naked pictures on the internet, right? Now, what do you say? Now, anybody can run. Anybody can run now.
But when they were talking about Hillary's husband,
this guy
were they
did
talking
not
about
show his taxes.
Come on.
This guy filed bankruptcy. This guy, there's no moral code now. So anybody who wants to run, I got an uncle who's been drunk for like 6 years. I'm gonna put my Uncle Ralph up to run, and nobody better not say anything.
We got a minute.
Now,
Okay.
here's
Wait, we got a minute to the
Here's
second.
the craziest thing.
Wait,
Here's the craziest thing. When they were talking about Bill,
Yeah.
right, and his abuse of women, and how Hillary
Not
covered
this
it up. Not this Bill, the other guy.
Right.
They were like, well, you can't mention because he's not running. Now you're talking about Melania. Right? Okay.
Let's
so look at the double
be
standard.
Fair. Let's be fair there.
Double standard.
There's a lot of stuff out there that can be utilized. Okay, but unfortunately we don't have that time.
We don't have the time.
Okay, we're going to come back in another segment.
Just real quick to address his.
You got less than a minute.
Okay,
About 30 seconds.
less than a minute. You're right. I'm not a proponent of a stimulus package that comes from the federal government. However, Donald Trump has a way, just give him some time, where he can go into the inner cities without the stimulus from the federal government. Watch and see.
Thank you, Bill. I also believe in dreams, and I'm so glad you were able to tell us that. I like that. So on that note, I want you to stay tuned. Okay,
Liberal
stay tuned,
zinger.
and we'll be right back. All right.
Mira, ¿dónde tú estás?
Ya estoy aquí, mi vida. ¿Pero qué están tomando?
¿Pero por qué?
Porque te traje lo nuevo y diferente, Taíno Light Boricua Beer. Y lo más importante es que es lo nuevo y acabadita de salir al mercado.
¿Y saben buenas?
Claro, ambas cervezas tienen los mismos beneficios que una copa de vino. Con menos calorías. La Boricua Beer 6%, fuerte pero con sabor. Y la Taíno Light 4.5% y es artesanal.
Eso es. Somos familia, calidad y sabor.
Visita boricuabeer.com.
Hi, I'm Danny Ramos, and welcome to this week's edition of Hispanic Speak Out TV, brought to you every week on Bright House Cable TV for the past 14 years. However, we used to be on Channel 49 every Tuesday night, and now we have been kicked upstairs to Channel 194. Okay, so starting last week, we are now on Channel 194, Bright House Cable, every Tuesday night. So make a note of it, write it with a big crayon or lipstick on your TV. We are on 194. And I'm here with my guest,
Hussein Jaffer. I am a conservative Muslim in the Orlando community, also a realtor.
Are you a Trump or are you a Hillary?
I actually voted third party.
Did you really? Okay.
I did.
So there's a lot of hoopla and a lot of protesting, and there's a lot of stuff going on. Anti-Trump stuff, that different cities, there's protest marches and all of this, which were actually, people accused Trump of doing it, and now the Dems are doing it.
Sure.
A little bit of violence, there's always people that are professional, and you always have those guys which want to spoil the party, and they give a bad name to the rest of the guys. Tell me about how your community, because you are very well involved in your community.
Try to be.
What is the ideas that they are feeling about a Trump presidency?
So, in regards to a Trump presidency, immediately there was a fear.
Before the election or after?
Before and after.
Okay.
Before and after. There's a fear about how this is going to play out for Muslims. And, a lot of people are saying the fear is not substantiated, but the thing is, the fear is substantiated. Okay, there have been numerous attacks that you could read online and hear online and see online of people being attacked. There was a girl the day after the election who was wearing a scarf from California, I believe it was, and she was attacked by a guy with a metal bar over the head, tried pulling the hijab. I mean, there is a lot of bad things going on out there, but you got to scale it back a little bit and be fair. See, when I came here last February and I said Muslim extremists are 0.001, it's the same thing with the Trump extremists. Or these, white supremacists, or whatever.
Or the Democrat extremists.
Or the Democrat extremists. It is a very little number. So, back to the question: there is a fear, and it is substantiated that, things are going to be bad for people because of the supporters. Now, as far as Trump himself reacting negatively towards Muslims, that media hype is there. I saw something last night where they actually kind of broke that perception through a right-wing news station, or it was more of a moderate news station. They showed a Now This social media clip of 4 minutes of Trump's speech saying ban Muslims. Then they showed the actual video. And there was a gentleman from London who broke down the video and said, look, he's not saying exactly what the media is portraying him to say. I'm not saying that he hasn't been obnoxious.
But did he actually
but,
say
you know,
ban Muslims?
He did have a Muslim ban. He did have a Muslim ban. Absolutely.
Okay. But did he say, let's ban Muslims until we have a vetting system that vets people before they come into the country, so we are sure that they are peaceful?
I think from what I heard last night on that longer clip of it not edited and not cut, it was vetting of people from certain areas that have bad character, certain areas that have shown to be.
Do you think that people coming over the Mexican border that are convicted felons should be allowed to stay in this country?
Absolutely not. Would we be allowed to stay in their country?
No.
Would we be allowed
Mexico
to stay in
doesn't let anybody stay in their country. They get rid of all the immigrants. They're not allowed.
So why should we allow the felons to stay here? Absolutely not.
So do you feel that people who break the law and have proven that they've broken the law repeatedly should be allowed to stay in the country if they are Hispanic, if they're Mexican, if they're Jews from Israel, if they're Czechoslovakian, if they're Muslim, if they're Syrian, if they're Russian, if they're Russian?
If you're born and raised in the States, then you go into the system, right? You go to penitentiary, jail, whatever you want to call it. If you're an immigrant who has consistently broken
an illegal
the laws,
immigrant.
an illegal immigrant, first of all.
Because legal, you got status.
Sure. An illegal immigrant who has broken the law needs to be deported immediately.
Okay.
Why are we handling that?
Okay, so you believe that they should they be allowed back in the country?
I don't think so.
Be...
Once you've broken the law and you've shown that you can't abide by the laws of the United States, right? You're here illegally. Okay, now can we get you to be legal the right way? Fine. Okay, maybe we can, but you've already broken the law. So you got to go. And if you want to come back, I'm sorry, I personally don't think you should be allowed in.
Okay, well, we're in agreement on that. Do you feel that, and you were born where?
I was born in Jersey.
You
So
were
the
born in
United States
Jersey.
of America, yes.
So you're 100% U.S. citizen
Born and
that's a
raised.
Muslim?
Born and raised, correct.
All right. Do you feel that sanctuary cities should be abolished? Now, keeping in mind what sanctuary cities are all about.
With the immigrants, yeah. Here's what I think, because it's you can call it a tricky question, or you need just a yes or no question, yes or no answer. I don't think they should be abolished if people are working towards the system and trying to pay into it. Okay, but the problem with illegal immigration and illegal immigrants working is a lot of times they're not paying taxes. If there is a way to get naturalized in those sanctuary cities, then get naturalized. You know, New York City, they said, look, if you're illegal, Chicago said, if you're illegal, we're not going to ask you to leave, and that's fine, because you can't uproot this many people and throw them out. And I think if you listen to Trump on 60 Minutes this past Sunday, he kind of reverted and he said the same thing. He said the 2-3 million felons who are illegal, out. Those who are not illegal will deal, or those who are illegal but not felons will deal with it at the time. So I feel the same way in that regard, that if you're in a sanctuary city, you need to work, and you want to pay in towards the system, or you're going to pay in towards the system, don't leave. Sanctuary cities, you know, they're already living.
Okay.
They're
how
already,
do you feel?
Humanely, you can't do it.
Okay, we don't have a lot of time left. So how do you feel about people who came into this country who have brought children that were below legal age? They brought children when they were 3, 8, 9, 15.
Sure.
Okay, they came in illegally. How do you feel about that family? Should they be allowed to stay? Should they be forced to go?
I think they should be allowed to stay. I think that you're taking on a high task by telling them to leave. You know, the kids are already
We're in
integrated.
agreement on that one.
Yeah, the kids are integrated.
We're in
into the
agreement. And you want to know something?
You know?
When it comes to push to shove, I think that Donald Trump is going to make an accommodation.
Well, I think so too. Look, real quick, I know we're running out of time. If you listen to 60 Minutes and you read his policies from last Tuesday to this Tuesday, the guy has gone back on a few things, because you have to have the fire to bring up the supporters. Where Hillary lost was the lack of supporters. Where Donald won was those who were sitting in the background saying that they never vote, but they came out because
They
he
came
played
out because
to
he
their
played the
fears.
card.
Real quick,
Yeah.
my parents came here. My dad came here in '72 at the age of 15 or 16. Okay, do you think everybody who came here from East Africa and India was legal? Probably not. But look where we are today. I'm a first generation, and the family's doing well.
All right.
Thank God.
Okay, well, I want you back so that we can talk about this some more.
Sure.
Okay, you're going to be our resident
Resident Muslim.
Listen, we'll be right back with Jose Miranda, who's doing a series of interviews, okay? Jose Miranda is the host of Hispanic Speak Out. We'll be right back.
I am for the child who's had 7 addresses in a single year because she's in foster care, because her father abused her, and her mother couldn't believe her. She is the child I am for. I am a volunteer child advocate. I am you.
Florida residents call toll-free 866-341-1425.
Hi, I'm Jose Miranda. This is Hispanic Speak Out TV, brought to you each week on Bright House 194. And we will post that in the bottom of the screen as well, and we'll be sending out emails. And if you want us to reach you, please send us your emails and we will tell you what's going on around with the things that we're doing. I'm being joined by one of my friends, Mr. Henry here, who is also a contributor to the show. We're going to talk politics, we're going to talk religion, we're going to talk about things that are affecting us. Good afternoon, sir, and welcome as always.
Yes, sir. Good to see you, man.
Okay, always a pleasure.
Yeah.
This is a new look for me. I have to admit, I am used to you with a bow tie.
Yeah.
I feel totally overdressed today. And I thank you. I was going to come in very, very casual, but
so you should have followed your heart.
But because I know how you just 99% of the time, this is totally a different thing. Yeah, we've had this election that has taken us back. It's taken me personally back. Yeah. Okay. I'm just shocked at the process. I cannot believe that for the second time in the season here, the pundits have gotten it all wrong. I mean, every single
everybody got it wrong. Yeah.
Got it wrong.
Yeah.
What the hell happened?
You know, a lot happened, obviously. But I think, you can kind of compare this. Remember when Rick Scott was elected and everybody said, oh, Rick Scott should be in jail because he defrauded Medicaid and et cetera.
Right.
He had never, he was a business person like Donald Trump, had never been elected to political office, had never run before. But he was able to use his vast amount of wealth to usher in a new era, supposedly, in Republican politics. He was a Tea Party darling. He was supposed to be so far right that it was going to change the way politics and government was done in the state of Florida. And it didn't necessarily work out that way, but we're looking at Donald Trump in the same manner, right? Because never been elected to public office, had talked about it in the past, maybe flirted with it, but I believe that was more for his business interest. And now we're kind of in the same spot. You have a Rick Scott, a more charismatic Rick Scott, who seems to be more dangerous than Rick Scott, who used some of his wealth and some of his influence to, I hate to say trick people because I understand. No.
He wrote it in his book.
No.
He told in his book he wanted to be a Republican because
he didn't say that.
Because he could easily trick that.
He didn't say that. They fact checked it.
All right, go ahead.
He didn't say that. But to your point, I don't want to say trick because people, listen, man. People, whether you are white, because we know the majority of white people voted for him, but 13% of black men voted for Donald Trump. 13% of black men, 8% of black voters switched over to that side. Remember, he was polling at 0 in certain places, and all of a sudden they ticked up. Yeah. People are desperate. They wanted something to hope for, and as dangerous as his hope may be, people are trying to hold on to something tangible.
Like
he
what?
said, "Make America great again."
As an African American, are you expecting a turkey
No, absolutely not. But listen,
an extra ticket to the Knicks game?
I'm the wrong person to talk to because I'm cynical. I'm all the way cynical. I didn't like Hillary. I didn't like Donald. I didn't like any. I didn't like Martin O'Malley. I was tepid on Bernie Sanders, even though I would rather see him than Hillary Clinton, just because of where we are in American politics is a terrible place. We're in a terrible place. When people feel like they have to.
48% of the population didn't vote. Okay. And
that's
so
why, right?
They threw the vote away.
No, I don't think they threw the vote away at all.
If you vote for Johnson, for example, we know Johnson is not going to get. He's not even going to garner 4%.
Here's the thing, though.
And he needed to garner 5% in order to get monies.
Yeah,
for the
Green Party and the Libertarian Party needed to at least get 5% so they can get.
And I'm not sure they got that.
No, neither one. Jill Stein got 1%. I think Gary Johnson got like 3%.
Okay.
To your point, though. We have to have an alternative. I don't know if it's going to be the Libertarian Party or the Green Party, but there needs to be an alternative to this wretched two-party system that we have. Now, Jill Stein and Gary Johnson, if you're a liberal and you voted for Gary Johnson, that's an anomaly. Just because Republicans and libertarians pretty much align on a lot of things. So you didn't necessarily have to worry about Gary Johnson voters switching over to Hillary Clinton. They would have voted for Trump. As far as Jill Stein is concerned, she got 1% of the vote.
Right.
I looked at the map. If you combine all of Jill Stein's votes with Hillary Clinton, she still would have lost. So that part didn't matter. Now, to your point about the 48%, nearly 50% of people not voting, this is why. People aren't voting because of this, because we have Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton, two of the most unfavorable candidates in the history of this country, running for president. This is why people aren't voting. Let me ask you this. You go into Paramore, into Carver Shores, into some of the trailer parks out in East Orange County, what do you see? You see despair. People are tired and they wanted something to hope for. And I'm not saying I agree with anything that Donald Trump stands for, but for a lot of people,
our economy may not be what it was, but it's better than it was. You understand? Because we started with some tremendously deficit.
Sure.
Okay. That this president had to overcome in order to get things started in the road.
Absolutely.
So the ideology that somehow this African American was going to pass a wand and make everything great again in a minute. It's not true.
No, not true at all.
Okay,
Listen,
and we shouldn't hold them to that, but everybody.
I don't think you should. No,
somebody's trying to hold them to that. But even in that effect, you said what affect Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton? They created these schisms even between our local politics, where now Cuban Americans are arguing with Puerto Rican Americans. Okay, and we didn't have that craziness before, or at least it wasn't on the surface. Now all those little cracks are showing because of this man.
I don't disagree with anything you're saying. Absolutely not. I mean,
what do we do? I mean, people are terrified, not just scared. We left scared a week ago. We're now in terrified.
Listen, man, Donald Trump is a symptom of a larger problem because, look, I posted on my Facebook wall the other day about a reporter, a national reporter, Hispanic lady speaking Spanish in a restaurant, and someone told her, you should speak English or you need to get the heck out of this country. This was happening way before November 8th. We have a serious problem in this country, and Donald Trump didn't start it. He's going to exacerbate it. Don't get me wrong. He's going to make it absolutely worse. But we're looking at a problem that's been going on for the past. Listen, our economy has been in shambles for a while. Barack Obama didn't create that. What's his name? Bill Clinton didn't create that. Ronald Reagan didn't create that. But all of them have in turn helped to create this 50 years of bad economic policy in this country has created the environments that we're in now.
You also have a legislator or working for a nonprofit in West Virginia who made a statement about the first lady that they would be glad to see a new first lady because they were tired of seeing an African in high heels.
No, they said a monkey in high heels.
And so, but she was fired.
She should have been. She should have been.
Okay, she was fired today. But all that BS is coming, and we run out of time for this. But
people are emboldened, man. People are emboldened.
We've got to come back and talk about this.
Absolutely, absolutely. This is worth seriously, man. You can do a 3-hour documentary just on this situation that we're in.
We should form a panel and have a really deep discussion about where we're going here in the South. Jay, thanks.
Man, always a good time.
Always a pleasure.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And you don't have to wear your bow tie no more. I'm Jose Miranda. This has been Hispanic Speak Out TV. We'll see you again next week. Same time, same channel.
I am for the child who's had 7 addresses in a single year because she's in foster care, because her father abused her, and her mother couldn't believe her. She is the child I am for. I am a volunteer child advocate. I am you.
Florida residents call toll-free 866-341-1425.
Mira, ¿dónde tú estás?
Ya estoy aquí, mi vida. ¿Pero qué están tomando?
¿Pero por qué?
Porque me traje lo nuevo y diferente, Taíno Light Boricua Beer. Y lo más importante es que es lo nuevo y acabadita de salir al mercado.
¿Y saben buenas?
Claro, ambas cervezas tienen los mismos beneficios que una copa de vino. Con menos calorías, la Boricua Beer 6%, fuerte pero con sabor. Y la Taíno Light 4.5% y es artesanal.
Eso me gusta. Somos familia, calidad y sabor.
Visita boricuabeer.com.